In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw some simple geometric forms using just a pencil and eraser. So it's important to know that shapes are two-dimensional. They are flat and they are measured in length and width. Forms are three-dimensional and they are measured with length, width, and depth. Typically, when you're drawing three-dimensional forms, you start with what I like to call the 2D twin. So first we're going to start out by drawing a cube. So its 2D twin is going to be a square. We're going to draw these out kind of like a little math problem. So when you go back to reference these drawings later, you remember how you got there. So these three diagonal lines that I just made are called orthogonal lines, not to be confused with orthodontal. Orthogonal. These are the diagonal lines that kind of go back to what would be our vanishing point. So it's important to know that the faces of my cube, those little tally marks that I'm making, are to show you that those lines are parallel to one another. So I'll show you again with the rectangular prism. So again, the 2D twin is going to be the rectangle. Here come my orthogonal lines. This time I'm going to point them down. And then when I connect that back lines there, you can see that those are parallel to the lines that are in front. You can also draw your forms in different directions. That one looks like a stick of butter. Next up, an ice cube. You're going to start by drawing the 2D twin, which is a square, just like we did before with our original cube. But in this next step, you're going to draw a second square, but you're going to place it strategically so that when you're done drawing that second square, you end up with 3 squares. So we'll look at that again. There's my original square. Here comes my second square, but it's overlapping that first square so that I have that little tiny square in the middle. So there's my orthogonal lines, and you can see that my ice cube is transparent. All right, this next one, we're going to start with a triangle. It's the 2D twin. We are going to make a pyramid. So I started out with my triangle, I made a little orthogonal line, and here comes a second orthogonal line. There's your pyramid. Now we're going to go for a triangular prism. So again, my 2D twin is the triangle. My orthogonals are going to go up and to the right. And then my last line that I put on there after I'm done drawing my orthogonals is going to be at the same angle as the front line that I made. Okay, so now we're going to start getting into the sort of rounded forms. So this first one I'm going to draw a cone. So I like to kind of start by making an oval. And I want to make sure that my edges are kind of in the same position. So I do 2 dots, I make a smile, and then I make a frown. So here it is again, my 2 dots, a smile, a frown, and then this is my cone. So again, you can create these in different positions, have them facing different directions. Next one up is going to be a cylinder, which is going to be drawn in a similar fashion that my cone was drawn. So I've got my smile, my frown after I've done my 2 dots. And this time, after I get my smile and frown, I'm going to make 2 vertical parallel lines. And then it's important, after I'm done drawing those 2 vertical parallel lines, that the bottom of my cylinder is curved in the same fashion that my smile is curved. Again, you can make these go in any direction you'd like. So for the last part, I'm going to show you how to draw a sphere. Now this is different than any of the other geometric shapes that we've been drawing because the sphere doesn't have any edges. So we start out with its 2D twin, which is the circle, and then to make this look 3-dimensional, we're going to add value or shadows. So first I'm going to use the skills I just learned to create a little lamp or a light source. You could make that look however you'd like. So if my light source is on the right, that means that my shadow is going to be on the left of my object. So my shadow is going to start at the very bottom. It's going to be very dark. The important thing to know about when you're shading something that's round like this is that you add your shadows, you add your value gradually. So you don't want to press really hard at first. You just want to kind of add your shadows a little bit at a time. Notice also the direction that I am moving my pencil. It goes in sort of line with the curve of my sphere. So I started out a little darker at the bottom, and then as I move closer to the light, it gets a lot lighter. You can also use your finger to kind of blend some of your lines in. So again, just adding that shadow, adding it one layer at a time. I'm going to continue to do that and blend with my finger until I get the look that I want. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thanks for watching.